Hello, old gun guy here. For today's video, I'm going to do one of my favorite cartridges and rifle to go with it. Today's video is going to be about the 7mm Remington Magnum. That's what that looks like. And the rifle is a kind of an oddity. It's a Colt Ultra Light rifle. I'll go into the rifle in detail after the cartridge, but this rifle as it stands, scope rings, and the ammo in the butt sleeve weighs 8 pounds 1 ounce. Without the scope and without the butt sleeve, it's about 6 3/4 pounds. Very light, very handy 7mm Magnum rifle. But I'm going to go into the cartridge first. The 7mm Remington Magnum in 1962. There've been many prior attempts on Wildcats from the early 20th century, different 7mm cartridges. They lacked the bullet technology. They could drive the bullets, 2,900, 3,000 feet a second, but the bullets would just come apart in the early iterations of some type of a Magnum 7mm cartridge. 280 Newton, 280 Ross, 7.61 sharp and hard. Those were some of the early attempts. And Weatherby with his 7mm Weatherby Magnum came out before the Remington 7mm Remington Magnum. Remington had been studying this and decided to bring out their own cartridge, and the 7mm Remington Magnum. They designed it to fit in a standard length action that a 30-06 would fit in, but not a short action, just a standard length. It doesn't require a Magnum action. It's 7mm, 284 thousandths of an inch projectile. The max chamber pressure is 62,000 and change PSI. 62,300 PSI, that's what Sammy has said that. Fires a wide array of bullets. Useful bullet weights are really like from 110 grains to 175 grains, although you can find some 7mm Remington Magnum ammunition loaded with 195 grain bullets, but they're kind of oddballs to find. You're really not served by going above 175 grains in bullet weight. The rifling twist standard is 1 turn and 9.5 inches of travel. And the 7mm is a very good compromise cartridge between the bigger 30 calibers and as far as performance, sectional density. It's a higher sectional density bullet compared to a 30 caliber. It has quite a few advantages over the very popular 30-06. If I only had one hunting rifle to choose, I'd probably go with the 7mm Magnum or the 338 Winchester Magnum, depending on where you lived. If you're living up in Alaska or northern Canada, I go with the 338 Winchester Magnum. It's a little more versatile. That said, the 7mm Magnum will take care of just about any game in North America. African Plains game has been proven on over its 60 some odd years in existence, 63 years since it's been introduced. When it came out, it became wildly popular, and people started adopting it. And I got my old Spear book here, and it's got one paragraph I'd like to read. Reloading section here. And it's quite true and very succinct. Many consider the 7mm caliber to be the best compromise for long-range cartridge. Bullets of larger diameter have to be heavy to give good sectional density and the ranging qualities. Also, the recoil is more severe. If they are much smaller in diameter, they lack the weight necessary to retain high velocity and give good penetration. That's the advantage of the 7mm. The other advantage is relatively inexpensive rifles in the 7mm Magnum. Ammunition is widely available. You can go in any mom and pop gun shop or Walmart, and you're gonna find 7mm Magnum, like this Remington here, right on a shelf. Reasonably inexpensive. You're not gonna find 7mm Weatherby Magnum. You're not gonna find 7mm PRC on the local shelves. Go all over the country, USA and Canada, you'll find it. I believe even overseas in Africa you'll find it. Makes a very good plains rifle caliber for hunting. The 7mm Magnum has also been used by the U.S. Secret Service in their sniper rifles. I think they're using 300 Winchester Magnums now, but for a number of decades they had the 7mm Magnum. I guess from when it first came out until maybe a few decades ago. But I know that for a fact they did use this cartridge. Generally very accurate. It's got tolerable recoil. It's not excessive. All things being equal, if you could fire a 30-06 with slightly heavier projectile versus a 7mm Magnum and like rifles of similar weights, the 7 mag is going to recoil about 15% to 20% more, but it's not overwhelming. When I do the shooting demonstrations, off the bench, you're going to get the most felt recoil. Would I want to shoot 50 rounds of 7 mag off the bench? No, but it's not punishing at all. Anybody that's reasonably healthy can handle this caliber. The components, if you reload, the components are widely available and not super expensive. It's descended from its grandpa, which I'm going to show here, the 375 Holland & Holland Magnum, H&H Magnum 375 H&H. You see where the belted case came from? This is 1912, this is 1962, 50 years later. Obviously they cut the cartridge down, and the 300 H&H Magnum came out in 1925, which is basically this cartridge neck down to 30 caliber, and they blew out this, straightened the case out, got a nice defined shoulder. I think it's 25 degrees, and a good case capacity, good balanced cartridge. Fits in standard length action rifles. You're going to find every rifle manufacturer makes a 7mm Magnum. 7mm Remington Magnum, I should say. There have been other attempts to cut into its popularity. Winchester Super Short Magnum or Short Magnum, 7mm Winchester Short Magnum. I think there was even a Remington Super Short Magnum that was put out for a while. You have some of these proprietary companies like Lazzaroni and exotic rifle makers. Even the 7mm Weatherby. The ammunition is going to be half the price of 7mm Weatherby Magnum, and there's very little difference in ballistic performance between the 7mm Remington Magnum and the 7mm Weatherby. Weatherby's got an edge of maybe 50 or 75 feet a second. That's it. And the couple of 7mm mag rifles I've owned over the years, I've had this about 18 years. Another nice purchase at a used gun shop for a very reasonable price because nobody wanted the damn thing. It's pretty interesting how you run across deals if you poke around. The cartridge is accurate, balanced, pleasant to shoot, and it can reach out. It's flat shooting hunting cartridge to 400 yards. With the proper bullets, you can take any game in North America, including big bears. I will want to shoot them up close with the 7 mag. If you can avoid doing that with any rifle up close with a big bear, you're better off. But 175 grain, Swift A-frames, nozzle petitions, there's various other premium bullets you can fire out of this gun. the 7 mag and get the job done. Lighter bullets for lighter game. Shoot pronghorn 400 or 500 yards away with this 140 grain bullets, you know, as long as you get your dope dialed in. I go into the rifle. What we have here is a Colt Ultra Light rifle, and the story behind it is there was a gunsmith or a machinist in West Virginia, Melvin Forbes, late 70s, early 80s. He started making custom rifles, the Ultra Light rifle, and he designed this rifle. In ways, it's kind of like a modified Remington 700, but in other ways, it's not. I'll pull the bolt out and I'll show you the various differences. But he made a superb, very lightweight rifle, 5-6 pound rifles in standard calibers, 30-06, 280 Remington, 270 Winchester, and the heaviest ones are the Magnum calibers. He became very successful. He makes a very good product. I think he's still doing it today. But around 2000, he sold the company to Colt. Colt wanted to get in the bolt action hunting rifle game with this ultralight rifle. The secret with Melvin Forbes rifle is he designed his own very special stock. It was made out of Kevlar and carbon fiber, hand laid, and the entire action and barrel was bedded to the stock, so get very consistent accuracy with different bullet loads. That was one of the secrets of his design. Colt, obviously being a commercial company, they wanted to cut some costs, so it doesn't have Melvin Forbes fancy stock on it. It's got a decent synthetic stock, nothing to write home about. But Colt farmed out the production of this manufacturing to Saco Defense in Maine, SACO. I think they make 50 caliber machine guns and various other military arms. But I don't know if the markings will show up here. I'll read them on the side of the receiver. Colt Light Rifle, Saco, Maine, made in the USA. Right there. On the trigger guard, there's the Colt Pony. I don't know if that'll show up. 7mm Remington Mag. Basically, they copied the entire rifle, his action, and very thin barrel. It's got a 24-inch barrel on it. Without the scope with the pad, I think it weighs 6 3/4 pounds, or 6.5 pounds. It's a light rifle. It's got it's a 90-degree bolt. It's got 2 locking lugs, 90-degree throw. It's got a Remington style safety on the right rear of the receiver here. That's a fire, that's safe. Melvin Forbes gun, if in a safe position, you can push the safety down and unlock the bolt. This one, the safety's on, the bolt's locked, so you can't unload it. So the Remington also has the bolt release in the trigger guard here, and this rifle does not. It's a little button. It's right here on the left side of the receiver. You push down and take the bolt out. Many ways it looks like a Remington 700 bolt, but slimmed down quite a bit. 2 locking lugs, 90-degree throw. The big difference is it has a Saco style extractor in the bolt face. Remington has a sheet metal tab. Plunger ejector, Saco extractor. Nice lightened bolt. Nice lightened barrel. Put this back in. It's got a 3-shot magazine. 3 or 4? I think it holds 4. I'm sorry. I haven't loaded a thick capacity in a while. Usually put 3 in. Trigger breaks cleanly at 4.5 pounds. There's no creep, no nothing. Just nice solid take and snaps. Breaks clean. I had the trigger gauge on it before. You know what? I'll pull it again. It was it's 4.5 pounds. Yep. Yep, 4.5. Really nice trigger, nice shooting gun. Previous shooting experience with some of my ammo and even the factory stuff, it's MOA or sub MOA, and it's really nice out of a hunt rifle. Due to the lightweight barrel, it's got a standard hunting type crown on the muzzle. The barrel heats up pretty quick. It's not a rifle to be shooting dozens of rounds out of, but it is a very nice light mountain rifle. You can hike rough terrain with it and hunt all day without wearing yourself out, giving yourself a shoulder ache. I have steel rings on this. I have I think they're medium height. This is a loopholed 3x9, I think 42 millimeter objective with the Butler Creek caps on it. I got it on 9 power. Standard duplex reticle, standard hunting setup. Nice clear glass. You should have clear or decent glass on your hunting rifle. Makes life easier. It's worth a few extra bucks. You get what you pay for in this world. I'm gonna do I guess several kinds of ammunition. This is a hand load. I've seen 7mm mag is not the cheapest, but it's not super expensive. I'm not gonna burn lots of it. These are hand loads. There's a 160 grain AccuBond ballistic tip nozzler. Let's see. I have 150 grain Sierra Game Kings, also loaded. I'll run a couple of them over the chronograph, just to give you a baseline velocity, what's to be expected. But generally, the 7 mag, 110 grain bullets, you're talking 3,500 feet a second. 175, you're talking 2,800 feet a second. You can improve on that with hand loading, and this is a fine old book if you're into hand loading. Ken Waters' Pet Loads. I've had it for years and years, and I like his commentary and his observations, and he's just an old master from the earlier days. Did a lot of hand loading and tinkering, and his observations and his insight and commentary and his hand loads are kind of priceless. I do a terminal effects test. I use the AccuBond, the 160 grain AccuBond for the terminal effects test. Water jugs, 3/4 inch piece of plywood, simulate heavy bone. Water jugs, witness board, more plywood. It's really when you're impacting the target from like 15 yards away, with the 7 mag, it's really rough on the bullets. They were designed to hunting ranges, 100, 200 yards to be impacting a game animal. That's what their parameters. The velocity drops off just enough to so the bullet expands properly without being really overstressed. But with that caveat, we'll do that, do the comparative recoil test. I'll do the ballistic pendulums. I shoot the 2 different plates with the 223 versus 7mm mag. I may even do it at 220 yards with the long range camera. Shoot the 223 and then shoot the 7 mag and see the plate swinging at different energy impacted at 220 yards on the muzzle. Accuracy test. I'll do 2 3-shot groups. Again, light barrel, I'm going to be heating it up. 160 grain nozzler on a top aiming point. A bottom aiming point, I'll do the 150 grain Sierra Game Kings. 2 different ammos, see if you see a point of impact shift. You will with different ammos, with this gun in particular. With Melvin Forbes, with his stock that's bedded all the way up to the fore end, apparently all of his guns shoot same point of impact regardless of the bullet weight. So, which is very interesting. I think he found that out by accident and you know, it's one of the signatures of his rifles. Colt sadly mismanaged this, and they made 7,000 or 8,000 of these, and 2 Magnum calibers, 7mm Magnum, 300 Winchester Magnum, and then standard calibers, 30-06, 270, 280 Remington, 270 Winchester, I think 7 Mauser, 25-06. There's a few others in there, but they couldn't make a profit with this gun due to their mismanagement and farming out things that they probably shouldn't have farmed out. They probably could have manufactured this themselves, but maybe they couldn't. Who knows? But it's a nice rifle. It's kind of cool. It's got the Colt logos on it, the Colt Rampart, and it's a nice shooting rifle, nice hunting rifle. Into the accuracy, targets, thermal effects, chronograph, to cover all that, and then I'll come back for summary and observations after I shoot. All these videos, the shooting's in the middle, you get the observations and results at the end, and you get the history in the beginning. So you can skip around if you like. All right, we'll go on to the shooting part. Okay, I'm gonna do a little chronograph test with our 7mm Magnum. The Colt Ultra Light rifle. I'm going to do just one shot each. I got 3 different ammunitions here. I kind of know their velocities just for display purposes, as the 7mm mag is a bit pricey even to reload. So we'll save the other shots for the accuracy and shooting distance. But first up is going to be this 150 grain Sierra Game King, brand new brass. I recorded it around 3,000 feet a second previously. Let's see if that holds up. Okay, in the camera here. That was 2,793, and the other camera's on the chronograph. Ah. On a 68 grain Nosler AccuBond. That's up number 2. $2,941 it looks like. And I got some 175 grain Spear Grand Slams. Let's see what these are. I'm going to take another shot. That was 2,793. The chronograph hung up for some reason. Okay. I had 2,764 for the 175 grainers. That just gives a little overview of the 7mm Magnum velocities to be expected, different bullet weights. I think I'll do the thermal effects test out here on the pavement because it's clouding up. I don't know if it's going to rain by the time I haul the stuff into the woods. So let me pause this, go on to the camera here. 793. The other camera's on the chronograph. On a 68 grain Nosler AccuBond. That's up number 2. $2,941 it looks like. I got some 175 grain Spear Grand Slams. See what these are. Take another shot. It was 2,793. The chronograph hung up for some reason. Okay. I had 2,764 for the 175 grammers. That just gives a little. Okay, back for the terminal effects test. This simulates a animal or animate object. Let's see if we can get the roll this down here a little bit. All right. I got 6 jugs of water. I get them all marked. A couple of these plywoods have been hit before because I'm running low on plywood, but basically 6 inches of water, 3/4 inch piece of plywood, simulating heavy bone. Another jug of water. I got another 3/4 inch piece of ply. Another 6 inches of water. A witness board. 4 inches of water. Another 3/4 inch piece of ply. Another water jug. 2 pieces of ply. Hopefully I can capture the projectile. 160 grain Nosler ballistic tip. Thing's hanging up on me here. Nosler ballistic tip 7mm Magnum. So let me set the other camera in motion and set this to run. Probably going to get dosed. Yeah, make sure that's running. All right, let me clean that mess up. And I did get dosed. And pause this and we'll be back. Okay, caught the projectile. Struck jug 1, vaporized it. The other half of the jug is, let me see, I found it over here. Looks like it exited out of that piece there. It blew it apart. First sheet of plywood, clean through, you can see it expanding. This is where it was hit before. Second jug, entered here, vaporized the jug. Second piece of plywood, it actually went in this 22 hole, blew out the back. Went into jug number 3. Right here, didn't exit. There's the piece of witness board behind it. So 3 jugs of water stopped it. don't have to weigh the bullet. Started out 160 grains. It's basically turned inside out. It was in jug number 3. Obviously it's not fair to the bullet, you know, such a close impact velocity, because you wouldn't be shooting a deer from, you know, 10 yards away. But you know, I don't have the facilities to shoot it from 100 yards away and do this. But the bullet held pretty, you know, pretty much together. It just folded in on itself. You know, good result. I think I'll do one more out here, the comparative recoil test. The 7 mag ain't that bad, but it does kick more than a 30-06. I'll shoot that against the 223, and then we're going to the accuracy target and shooting the steel plates and such. So let me clean this mess up and on to the next thing. Alright, back from my comparative recoil test. The base is a Savage Axis and 223. One shot each. The 223 and a 7mm Magnum. Alright, and the camera there. Nothing. Now the 7 mag. There's a 175 Grand Slam in this. A little bit, not unmanageable, not painful. More than an 06, but not that much more. My personal, you know, subjective impression. Gonna go into the woods and do steel plates accuracy test next. Gonna do our accuracy target. 3 shots. The top aiming point, 160 grain nozzle AccuBond, doing about 3,000 feet a second. And then I'll do 3 shots of the 150 grain Sierra Game King. Bottom aiming point. Put my ears on, the other camera's already running. Not 150 grain Sierra Game Kings. That one I pulled a little bit high to the right. That was me. Let me pause this. We'll go down to the... Okay, camera's running. This will be the 160 nozzle AccuBonds. These will be the 150 Sierra Game Kings. Sub on my way. Got to adjust the scope for this load. This is a better load. And sub on my way. All right. Okay. Both groups sub on my way, but I'll cover it in the summary. Those were the 150 Sierra Game King. That's just about an MOA or less. This is less than probably 3/4 MOA for the nozzler. It also illustrates a point of sighting your rifle in for the load you're going to use. These are obviously two different loads, two different points of impact. I like these nozzlers. I may have originally sighted the gun 2 inches high with these. It's a little off to the right for some reason. But that could be environmental factors. That's not a free floated barrel, it's a hunting rifle. Again, it's better for a hunting rifle than that. So I go on to the next demo. Okay, I'm going to do the ballistic pendulums, the 8-inch steel plates. I'm going to shoot from back here though with the 7 mag. I get the other camera running and one shot apiece. I think I'll use the beat up plate in the middle for the 7 mag and the right hand plate for the 223. Do the 223 first and then the 7 mag. Now the 7 mag. Quite a bit more energy. I'm going to try something kind of comparative energy. I got to set it up though. So let me pause it. The 7 mag burned right completely through that plate, just like the 220 Swift did. I kind of figured that. That's why I shot that plate. On to the next thing. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to do another comparative energy test. I'm going to shoot the 220 yard plate, 223 first, and then the 7 mag. And we'll see if we... I get the long range camera on the plates so you can see the hits. So first up, the 223. All right, good solid hit. Now the 7 mag. Quite a bit of difference. Rocking and rolling out there. I think as I got the camera running, I'm just going to shoot 100 to 220, a couple of shots with the 7 mag, just to depth. I'm going to shoot the 220 yard plate, 223 first, and then the 7 mag, and we'll see if we. I get the long range camera on the plates so you can see the hits. So first up, the 223. Alright, good solid hit. Another 7 mag. Quite a bit of difference. Rocking and rolling out there. I think that's 100 to 220. A couple of shots with the 7 mag, just to demonstrate it. Alright. Do the 100-yard first. Let's see. Center plate. Oh, broke the fucking strap. Do the 150. And hit the 220 again. And maybe one more. Might as well punish my shoulder a little bit more. Most recoil you're going to feel is off the bench. And this is not a gun I would wish to shoot 40 or 50 rounds off the bench. I'm going to try the little plate at 150. It's a little 4-inch plate. Oh, knocked the plate off the stand. I'll have to go check that out. That'll be it for the shooting parts of this. Going for the summary and observations. Center plate. Oh, broke the fucking strap. Do the 150. And hit the 220 again. And maybe one more. Might as well punish my shoulder a little bit more. Most recoil you're going to feel is off the bench. And this is not a gun I would wish to shoot 40 or 50 rounds off the bench. I'm going to try the little plate at 150. It's a little 4-inch plate. Okay, back for my little summary and observations with our Colt Light rifle, 7mm Magnum, and the font refined 7mm Magnum cartridge. For comparison, is the 308 Winchester next to the 7 mag, the 7mm Remington Magnum, I should say, and Grandpa, the 375 H&H. So that's just size comparison. Did the chronograph. I only did one shot a piece. The 175 grains I did two, because the chronograph froze up even though it recorded it, because when I retrieved the data it had both shots in there. The 160 grain AccuBond Nosler is doing 2,973 feet a second for 3,144 foot-pounds of energy. The 150 grain Sierra Game King, which is this stuff here, soft point boat tail, 2,941 feet a second for 2,881 foot-pounds of energy. A lot of punch. The 175, I don't have that here, I have it downstairs, 2,793 feet a second, 3,032 foot-pounds of energy. Quite a punch there. Did the comparative recoil, 223 versus the 7 mag. Obviously the 7 mag's got a little more kick, especially out of a rifle this light. You know, like I said, dressed out it's 8 pounds. So it gives you a nice little, you know you're shooting it, it's not painful and manageable, as the videos will attest. The most punishment you're going to take from any rifle is shooting off the bench, and even shooting off the bench. Could I do 20 or 30 rounds? No problem. Do I want to do 50 or 100? Oh, no, I wouldn't want to do it with the 7 mag. But it's not designed for that. Did the ballistic pendulums, 223 versus the 7mm mag. I think I used the 175 grain Spear. I think they're Grand Slams. The 223 imparted its energy. I used the right plate on the 223. The center plate is damaged. 220 Swift knocked a hole in it. There was a sore spot in the plate, and the 223 went through it. But the 7 mag went completely through the plate, burned a hole about, you know, yay big through it. But it's damaged, and I really don't care. Flipped the plate around. Did the accuracy test. 2 groups. I used the 160 Nosler and then the 150 Sierra, and they were both sub-MOA, 3 shots. My little wiggly log rest there to simulate a log out in the field. But this was the AccuBonds. This is the aiming point, so I didn't zero this gun for this ammo. So I think I zeroed it for this, for the Sierra Game Kings. But the Nosler AccuBond, nice tight group. If I was to re-zero this gun, I would probably do it with this ammo. I like this 160 Nosler. The group, I measured it with the dial calipers, is 0.683 thousandths of an inch. So it's a little over 2/3 of an inch in 3 shots. And then the Sierra Game Kings, 150 grain, they come out to sub-MOA, 0.889 thousandths of an inch, almost 9/10 of an inch, the 3 shots. So very accurate rifle for a hunting rifle, you know, light barrel hunting rifle. I measured the muzzle of this rifle with the calipers. It's only 620 thousandths of an inch at the muzzle, and a, you know, 7mm caliber. You know, nice light barrel, and it delivers good accuracy. I did a comparative energy thing with the long range camera, the 220 yard plate, 223 versus the 7 mag. Obviously 223 puts a little dink on the plate, and the 7 mag really rocks it at 220 yards. Shot the steel at 100, knocked the plate off the strap, busted the strap, the 7 mag. 150 yards, I shot, you know, the big plate held up. I shot the little plate at 150 yards, and it flew off the stand. I have to review the footage to, you know, to see it exactly, but I found it 15 feet from the wood sawhorse, and so much energy hit it that it ripped the friggin' strap. Just tore the strap off. Didn't do nothing to the plate, but actually I think put a little tiny dimple on the plate, but it tore it right off the, you know, it's heavy duty rubber too. So that was pretty impressive. I gotta fix that later on. I gotta get a new strap and armored thing. The 100-yard plate, the carriage bolts ain't armored, and the spool from the bullet just shaved the heads off, so that just fell out of the thing. I just got to put new bolts in. The straps are fine. Did the terminal effects test. It's an analog for a game animal or a you know, game animal, or it could be an adversary of some type. But 6 inches of water, 3/4 inch piece of plywood, simulating heavy bone. Plywood's been shot before, it's all been marked. Another 6 inches of water, another 3/4 inch piece of plywood, previously shot but marked. Another jug of water, witness board, another jug of water, and plywood, and so on. Firing a 160 grain AccuBond from, I'm gonna say, I don't know, 10 yards or whatever it was. It's real stressful on the bullet, but I recovered the bullet. Vaporized the first jug, blew right through the, you know, so you can see it's starting to expand in the plywood, blew right through the plywood. Vaporized the second jug, turned it, folded them inside out, massive energy dump. In fact, I put a sheet of plywood over the table to protect it from a hydrostatic shock on the first two, because I kind of knew there would be a lot. And it entered the second jug, the third jug, and it was in the third jug. It expended itself. Recovered it, that's what it looks like. It's all folded in on itself. I weighed it, it's 92.5 grains. So that's 58% of its original weight. It was 160 grains when it started, which ain't bad considering the tremendous stress it was blasted under. I measured it with the calipers. It is max expansion 500.534 thousandths of an inch, so 53 caliber. That's what it expanded to from 28 caliber, so basically double in size. You know, if you hit a deer with that at 400 yards, you're gonna drop them with no problem. And that's the beauty of the 7 mag. Real versatile round, real versatile cartridge. Like I said, if I could only have one hunting rifle, probably the 7 mag, cover just about everything. If you were in places where you had really, really big critters, the 338 Win Mag. Obviously, if you're in Africa, the 375 H&H. Can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that if you're up in Alaska neither, but I like the 338 Win Mag. It's a little more versatile than the 375 H&H. The heavier you go, things get more specialized. But Melvin Forbes is still making rifles. He went back and started a new ultralight rifle company, and I think, you know, he makes the custom rifles. They run, there's a waiting list, I believe, and they run, I don't know, $3,500 to $4,000. But you get a really quality rifle, you know. But it's a lot of scratch for a lot of people to pay, including me. I think I paid $600 for this gun, and 600, maybe 550. But like I said, it was a gun shop. I saw that. I says, it looked like a Remington. So let me see that, you know. And I looked at it. I said, yeah, it's some kind of Colt. The guy who owned the shop, he didn't know what the hell it was. But he took it on a trade for something. The guy didn't like it, or whatever. He must have kicked him too hard or something. You know, some people was very subjective with the recoil. You know, if you don't hold the rifle right, it's gonna punch you. You know, anything. 308 will punch you. But yeah, he was happy to get rid of it. I got it for a good price. I threw the loophole on it, and that's about it. I throw the sling on it when I'm going to be out in the field with it, but in the safe it stays without the sling. But you know, it's a really nice hunting combination, and I think to this day you still run across these reasonably inexpensive. I think Colt had Seiko built, I don't know, 7 or 10,000 of them. I don't know how many were produced, but you know, not supported anymore. If something breaks, you're gonna have to obviously take it to a gunsmith. But bolt action rifles are pretty simple creatures. The Seiko extractor, style extractor, it's very robust. I don't really see anything going wrong with that. The plunger ejector, you know, as long as you don't have to really beat the thing up. I don't know what trigger they had in here. The original ultralight rifles had some type of modified Timney trigger. Timney built the trigger to Melvin Forbes design specifications. But there's a very nice trigger in this. I don't know who made it for them. But like I said, they farmed this out to Seiko Defense in Maine. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up because we're getting a little long in the tooth here. I think I covered everything. I probably missed a few things, but that's the way it goes when you're an old gun guy. I'm old gun guy, and have a good evening.